Offensive player of the year is coming down to Saquon Barkley, Joe Burrow, Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson, and Jamar Chase. This is a close race as well, but what are your thoughts here?
So I think this is a two-horse race. I love Joe Burrow, but I think Joe Burrow is going to lose out because his season wasn't legendary enough or historic enough. And that's unfortunate. He got a great season, but he's not going to be taking home any hardware, in my opinion, this year. Derrick Henry had a great season, but again, same thing. His season was, I think, 70-something yards short of legendary status. So I'm going to say he
almost ran for another 2K.
Yeah, this season comes down to Saquon Barkley, Jamar Chase, and Lamar Jackson. I think Lamar is more deserving of Offensive Player of the Year than he is of MVP, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, again, MVP's most valuable player, that's Josh Allen. If you give Lamar Jackson Offensive Player of the Year, I can't get mad at you for that.
Right.
This is a tough one because usually the Offensive Player of the Year tends to be the guy that's not a quarterback that has the best season. And in any other season where a running back ran for 2,000 yards, they didn't win MVP. Every single running back that ran for 2,000 was the Offensive Player of the Year that year, though.
That's right.
Similarly, if I'm not mistaken, every single wide receiver that's won the Triple Crown was the Offensive Player of the Year that year. So for the first time in NFL history, a running back's going to rush for 2,000 and not win the Offensive Player of the Year, or a receiver is going to win the Triple Crown and not win Offensive Player of the Year. This is going to be, I think, the tightest of the award voting. I absolutely think that for that reason, because history shows that when either of these things happen in a season, that guy wins it. With that being said, though,
having two Triple Crown winners in a matter of 4 seasons is absolutely insane.
It's absolutely,
because before that it wasn't done since Steve Smith in 05, and then before that it was 1992. I mean, geez,
it's
bro.
Crazy. If I had to pick one, though, and this is tough because I can go back and forth on either. If I had to pick one, I would say it's Saquon Barkley. And I think the reason why Saquon Barkley is going to win is because not only did he rush for 2,000, but we all know if he doesn't miss the second half, I can't remember what team it is, but if he doesn't miss the second half of that game a couple weeks ago with the injury, and then if Sirianni lets him play in that last week of the season against New York, he sets the record.
He breaks Barry's record.
We know he sets the record and breaks Eric Dickerson's record, if not for missing the last game of the season and missing the second half of that game a couple weeks ago. So I think Saquon's going to win it. With that being said, though, I don't want us to just sweep under the rug what Jamar Chase done this season, because he's not going to win any hardware this season, unfortunately. What we saw Jamar Chase do, again, I know it's the second one in 4 years and the third one this century, but we're talking about leading the league in receptions, receiving yards, and touchdowns. This is a very exclusive club. This club is more exclusive than the 2,000 yards club. And just so you know just how exclusive this club is, the 2,000 yards club almost got 2 new members this season. Not a new member, because Derrick Henry's done it before. He would have been the first person to do it a second time. And that's also never been done before. We watched Jamar Chase do something completely unprecedented. And I know people are going to say, yeah, well, he had to do that because the defense sucks. I don't want to hear any of that, man. At the end of the day, greatness, as Adam has said all night, greatness deserves to be rewarded. It's unfortunate that Jamar Chase, I think, is going to be the one to get the short end of the stick here. Because even if Saquon Barkley doesn't rush for 2,000 yards, you're still looking at a guy in Lamar Jackson who gave you almost 5,000 total. Or I'm sorry, gave you 5,000 total all-purpose yards this season, the regular season, and had 41 touchdowns to just 4 interceptions. And that's an Offensive Player of the Year caliber season, even if it's not an MVP caliber season by award. So it's very unfortunate that the greatest season Jamar Chase has had in his career is going to go unrecognized, and he's not going to take away any hardware from this. But what I will say, though, also is Jamar Chase, I think, and this is simply because of who his quarterback is, Jamar Chase is keeping that race between him and Justin Jefferson really, really, really tight. I know Justin Jefferson's the best receiver in the league, right? And we give him a lot of credit, especially because when you look at who he's had to catch passes from compared to Jamar Chase catching passes from Joe Burrow. But Jamar Chase, I think, firmly now, it's Justin Jefferson, it's Jamar Chase, and then there's everybody else, whoever those everybody else may be. Jamar Chase had a great season this season. It's unfortunate that it's going to go without awards. Saquon Barkley breaks that record, if not for him missing a game and a half, and I think they're going to recognize that, and he's going to be the offensive player of the year.
Yeah, I've got Saquon as well. Wanted to give a little check there on what you said about Triple Crown winners versus 2,000-yard rushers. There's actually been 9 2,000-yard rushers in total. There's been 17 Triple Crown winners if you date it back to technically the NFL, AFL days. But we know how hard it is to really win the Triple Crown and be the leader in all 3 categories as a wide receiver. We saw Cooper Kupp do it, Offensive Player of the Year, Super Bowl MVP. It is very tough to know that Jamar Chase has the most catches, 1,700 yards, 17 touchdowns, and might walk away with no hardware. I think the reason that you do have, Saquon Barkley win it is a lot like you said at the end, knowing that if he would have played the rest of those games out, he gets Eric Dickerson's record. I mean, you even have him on tape with, I think, the offensive coordinator and maybe Sirianni on the bench saying, no, I'm good. I don't want it. Like, let the other guys get his reps. I'm fine. We're going to win this game. Like, he was totally cool. And he kept pushing on the fact that he did not want it. And that's just a testament to how great, Saquon Barkley is. Much like you said, last time we saw a 2,000-yard rusher, they won Offensive Player of the Year. It was Derrick Henry in 2020. Also, the last time, like you said, we had a Triple Crown winner, they won Offensive Player of the Year. But I think they are going to give that nod to Saquon. I just think overall, people are going to hate me for this. I didn't think Saquon Barkley could be a 2,000-yard rusher. Now, maybe the Giants were pulling the wool over my eyes, and I think they were possibly doing that for a lot of people. He was constantly hurt. He was mismanaged. I knew Saquon was going to be solid this year, but this great?
Yeah.
500 rushing yards between 2 competitions against the Rams? Now, take their rush defense for what you will, but there was still Jared Verse. There was still Braden Fisk there. In a 2,000-yard season in your first year outside of that property franchise in the Giants? Yeah. I don't know if anybody really saw that coming, so I've got to give that nod, no question, to Saquon Barkley.
Hey, it's AJL here. Appreciate you sticking to the end of the video here on YouTube. You could have chose any other show, but you chose my video, and for that, I'm very grateful. If you haven't already, please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Follow me on social media. Hit the bell on the channel so you never miss a post. Check me out on all social media platforms. Right here, you'll find a chance to subscribe to the show, a related video, and a playlist. See you guys in the next one.